Welcome to Ghoulish Gab, always spooky, always under 7 minutes. Today's topic is lessons learned. So this is a topic that Kayla picked, and I hope that I understood the assignment. We just kick back ideas a day or two before we record some of these, and we just go with it. So what lessons are there
You
to be
remember how
learned?
in movies or movies for kids, a lot of times there's a life lesson you're supposed to take away from that, and everybody assumes that that stops when you're no longer watching children's movies, but that's not true. Movies still have life lessons. For example, in both Evil Dead and Cabin in the Woods, the life lesson you should learn is don't read the Latin in that weird book you just found. No good will come of this, and you will release something you did not intend to. Don't, especially if you don't understand Latin, don't read it. Okay, just leave it alone. Life lesson learned.
That's a good lesson. Jaws was probably the first time that I learned that public officials will always choose money over people. It would not shut down that damn beach. And then when you watch the sequel, that guy's still the mayor. What
Yeah,
a bunch of idiots.
not during tourist
They,
season. I can't shut down the beach.
yeah, the people of that town didn't learn anything.
Nope.
We should have.
All right. Final destination two. Don't drive behind a logging truck. If you are on your way somewhere, I think everybody from around our ages will agree. Speed your ass up and get past it or take a different route. Only destruction will follow, and it's not immediately behind the logging truck. That those logs come off, it's going everywhere. Don't follow too closely behind a logging truck.
I had seen a logging truck with a couple logs. By the time I pulled up to it, it was already stopped, and a couple of the logs were like on the side. But had I been there earlier when that was happening, it didn't look like anyone was hit. That was right on Tower and Belknap too, when I
Oh my
was coming, when I used
god.
to work over there. Yeah, it didn't look very bad, and I'm assuming nobody got effed up because there was no like bashed up cars around it. But there was literally like 3 or 4 full size logs like that fell off the side of it.
Absolutely
But
not.
the first
Mm-mm.
place my mind went, wow. I thought about that movie obviously during that whole thing, and I was like, oh, f this. Um, you know what? The Burbs, or even Fright Night for that matter. Maybe it's okay to be a nosy neighbor because the people living next door to you, they probably have corpses buried in the house, or they probably are vampires. So just go ahead, rifle through your neighbor's garbage, get binoculars, spy on them. I mean, if you're suspicious to begin with, they could be murderers or vampires. And so just protect yourself from that. Steal their mail.
um Jaws, Deep Blue Sea, and Lake Placid. My life lesson is you don't need to swim in the body of water. Go somewhere that has a pool.
That is a much better idea.
You don't know
Um,
what's in that water. You don't know.
mm-mm. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Don't pick up hitchhikers is the first lesson that I learned there, and that's also could be learned from many other horror movies as well too.
And real life, true crime.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
literally don't do that. Also, be comfortable in your own skin because it doesn't look good when you literally take somebody else's and drape it over your face. Even in the one where he put the lipstick on over it, I'm sorry, it's not a good look. It's not. So just be comfortable with yourself in your own skin.
oh my god. Okay. Uh Multiple slasher movies, more than I can name. One lesson: have your keys in your hand and do not drop them. If you are going to your car or leaving your car, if it's a house key or a car key, you have the key ready. And it doesn't matter. Practice putting your key in a damn lock cylinder if that's what you need. And if you have a key fob, make sure the battery works. The amount of tragedy that could have been, you know, avoided if you just knew what you were doing with your keys. I'm just saying.
Don't lose your keys,
Don't lose your
bitch.
keys.
Frankenhooker. taught me don't use a modified lawnmower around your fiance, and then try to reanimate parts of her body after you've attached them to parts of dead hookers' bodies that you killed with super crack. It's convoluted, but the lesson is there. Don't do any of that. There's no payoff. You may think there is, but there is no payoff. Don't do it. Don't mow the
Every
lawn ever. Not worth it.
every killer movie that has taken place in the woods, you can learn that you don't have to be the fastest or the most graceful. You just can't be the slowest or the least graceful.
There's a movie called Don't in the Woods that I don't know if you've seen that, but that title right there, and that's the whole lesson. You don't even have to watch the movie really to get the lesson of that. I think tons of movies have taught us that. That is about all the time that we have for today. Hopefully you learned something, and why don't you tell us what you've learned from horror movies?
Bye.
Bye.